G'day everyone and welcome to day 3 of our MVP journey. Today we're talking about how everything we've been talking about from the self-discovery perspective and everything we've been talking about from the world discovery perspective comes together. I'm going to share with you a little bit about how I've used this for myself so you can see how this sort of plays out in a real world situation. First, I want to explain a concept that I did mention yesterday in day 2, which is about the Ikigai, a reason for being. It's a Japanese concept and it basically outlines sort of 4 different parameters of our lives that we need to think about when it comes to finding our life's purpose and to doing work that's really going to change the world for the better. 2 reasons that I know you're all here to find out more about. So basically with the Ikigai, the 4 parameters are, so firstly around what you love to do. Secondly, around the skills that you have, what you're good at. Thirdly, what the world needs, which we started talking about yesterday. And then fourthly, how you're going to monetize things, because we need to be able to support ourselves, right? Otherwise it's volunteering. So even if you're building a nonprofit, you're going to need to find funding so that you can actually do your life's best work. Otherwise you're going to be really restricted and really stressed out. So for me, the money piece is sort of the last piece, because if we think about making money first, it can get us again into that analytical mindset, which restricts our creative problem solving and thinking. So we want to expand the problem first and then look for ways at monetizing it. And actually trialing a few different ways of monetizing things has been shown to be a lot more effective. And there's a few great articles about this from Forbes and others, which I'll put in the description below. Just before I explain what the Ikigai looks like and how to fill this out for yourself, I wanted to share this quote from Oprah Winfrey. So Oprah basically says that you shouldn't worry about being successful, but instead work towards being significant, and the success will naturally follow. And that's how I kind of think of things. It's like if you're really solving a problem that is going to make a difference and it's something that you're good at, it's something that you're passionate about, then you've kind of got the recipe for success already in there, because what you're going to do is going to be really significant. And as a result, people are going to want to follow you. People are going to be listening to what you have to say. And so your brand will grow and you'll be positioned as a thought leader. So really, in terms of monetization, you're in a position where you have a lot more options on how to monetize, and you can experiment with that. So the exact way that you're going to monetize things, in terms of the exact price you're going to offer things for and whether or not that's the right price, that's something we'll test at the MVP stage once we launch. But right now we just want to have an idea of a few ways that maybe we can monetize things, and also what's going to sit well for us in terms of what we value. So for me, for instance, and as you'll see in this example I go through in a minute, for me, it wasn't about making millions and millions of dollars. It was about making sure that I have a way to earn an income whilst I do something that I really love, because going into a 9-to-5 job and working away at something that I have no passion for and that restricts me in how I work is not how I want to live my life. And that's much, much more valuable to me than whether I make $250,000 a year or $150,000 a year or $50,000 a year. But that's not the case for everyone, and there's no right answer, but you need to think about what that looks like for you, because there's a lot of stuff out there that's all about building a business to 7 figures and 7-figure funnels and all that kind of stuff. And if that isn't you, that's okay as well. It's certainly not who I am, and I don't get motivated by making a whole heap of money. And I imagine that for you, wanting to make a difference in the world goes beyond just earning an income. Another day, another dollar is probably not something that's going to resonate with you. So for me, money kind of comes last. It's an important component, but it isn't everything. So let's talk about the Ikigai in a little bit more detail. So for me, basically what this looks like is from a love perspective, what I love to do. I love to teach, I love to learn, and I love seeing people reach their full potential. My first little business when I was 14 was in tutoring. So I'd been a homeschooler up to the age of 11. Then I went into high school a little bit early, so a year younger than everyone else. And by the time I was 14, I could see a lot of people were struggling with how to learn and how to study. And so my first little business was sort of helping kids a little bit younger than me to succeed at school. And I loved it. I loved seeing people's eyes light up when they realized that they could do well. What I discovered during this process was a lot of the issue wasn't around a person's talent or smarts, but it was around their confidence and around what they'd been taught to believe about themselves. And so a lot of teaching has been actually around helping people to sort of break down some of those assumptions that they make about themselves and understand themselves at a deeper level. So that's what I love to do. In terms of my skill set, I have good interpersonal skills. Every time I do some sort of like skills assessment, that always comes up really high for me. I'm a good conversationalist. I'm good at asking questions, and I'm a good presenter. I know how to put content together to help people understand things at a deeper level. So combining those two things, you can start to see how those skills and what I love to do work together. But what we also want to look at is how that makes a difference in the world, right? Again, that's why we're all here. What's the reason to do all of this stuff if it doesn't make a difference in the world? So for me, I can see that there is a real need for people to develop skills in how to critically think and reason and problem solve. These were skills that I learned through my degrees. I did a degree in science and a degree in art and creative thinking so that I could understand how to look at problems in different ways, how to innovate, how to create new ideas. And this has been really, really powerful in the entrepreneurial space, which is exactly why I'm putting this MVP program together. So there's so many problems in the world, but we're going to have a much better chance of solving it if we know how to think critically and reason in a sound way. And that's what sort of the science side of things brings into for me as well. So now you can see all of these three things are starting to make sense. But then the question is how to monetize it. And to be perfectly honest with you, I've found that quite hard at times. I find it really hard to charge for education because I believe education is something that everyone should have access to. And so what I've done is I found a way to kind of balance those two things out where I can still contribute something for free, but also have ways of gaining payment as well so that I can survive. So basically what I've done is I've put together consulting programs, coaching program. I do a bit of mentoring. I do a bit of speaking. I'm in the process of writing a book. Through my consulting work, I'm able to earn an income and also able to support some other people who I contract work to as well. So, you know, everyone's different here. Some people might want to make millions and millions of dollars from their business. Some are probably a little bit more focused like me on just making sure that, you know, there's enough to be comfortable and secure, but at the same time, it's really about providing value in the world. So now on to you. What does your Ikigai look like? Have a go at filling this out. Like I said, you can download the worksheet. There's lots of other templates available as well, but I have got a free template available for you to fill in. Have a go at filling that in now that you've done that work from day 1 and day 2 and start to think about that monetization. Until next time, remember that sharing your talents with the world will make it a better place. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. If you've got questions about building your MVP, leave it in the comments and it might just be featured on a future episode. Check out what's up next for more content from my channel.